Angela!
Cheers.
Stephanie! Oh, bravi!
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God, ladies, that was so much fun. What a romp. The roast, the laundry, the turkey.
Right?
And you look like you're having a great time.
It was wonderful. Was it great fun?
It is so delightful. And Angela, it's our first time seeing you do comedy on the stage of the Met, and you're a natural.
Oh, thank you.
What kind of directorial guidance did you get from Robert Carson?
He didn't actually tell me to be funny. He was just like, try to just really get into her character. And I think she's a lot like me personally, so it was easy to sort of get into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Stephanie, let's go back. It's 1996,
Yes.
and you're in the Met's Young Artist Program,
yeah.
and you jump into the same role for
Yes.
Marilyn Horne at the last minute.
Yep.
Meister Levine was in the pit then as he is today.
That's right.
It must mean so much for you now, looking down and seeing him there again.
It's wonderful to see him again. Absolutely fantastic after his absence. It's great to be with him. And also the thing that was so fun was the first time I did this show, I was 25, and I was the youngest of all the gals, and now I'm the oldest.
Oh, stop.
I am. I'm the oldest, and it's wonderful. It's been such a joy watching Angela develop this role. Really, I think she's magnificent.
Oh, yay.
And you're magnificent.
Oh. And Angela, on the other hand, this is your first time working with Meister Levine.
It
What
is.
have you been most struck by?
Oh, he's just such a wonderful leader, and he's always so giving, and you look down there and he's always smiling at you,
Yeah.
and it's just so comforting to have
He
that.
loves this piece. It's
I'm sure
infectious,
he
isn't it?
Absolutely.
And Stephanie, the role of Quickly's been a bit of a calling card for you
Yes.
around the world. What speaks to you so strongly about her character and the music?
Well, she's a go-getter. She's a catalyst. She's somebody who makes things happen.
Yes.
She tells us what to do, and then I do it. So it's a very exciting, it's an action-packed role, and I really, really love it, especially this production. I don't get 4 costumes in a show very frequently. So this
That's
is
true.
rather nice.
Yes,
So
and
it's
it also shows off the part of your voice we love so much.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
God. Now, Angela, after the notoriously hard repertoire you've done, Norma, and the killer early Verdi roles, is singing Alice a walk in the park?
It is a little bit. I can just sort of focus on being fun and having fun and just sort of developing her as a character. She's great.
But it's hard to learn. I remember
It
I looked
is.
at
It
it
was
once.
very
Very
hard.
chromatic, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of counting.
Time consuming,
Yes.
right. Angela and Stephanie, thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're both amazing, and you
Thank
look
you.
spectacular.
Thank you.
With Falstaf, Giuseppe Verdi created a breathtaking capstone to an unparalleled operatic career. Earlier, Met General Manager Peter Gelb sat down with Maestro James Levine and director Robert Carson to discuss this masterpiece.
This is your first collaboration.
Yeah.
And you have chosen for your first collaboration Verdi's very last opera, and perhaps his most sophisticated and perhaps the most difficult to pull off opera from a musical and I imagine from a theatrical point of view as well. What do you consider to be the essential aspect of this piece?
It's such a celebration of humanity, and it distills into music all the greatest, warmest joy that we can share with each other. It's an opera. You know, all theatre is about sharing, and there's no theatre without an audience. So the whole relationship of audience-stage is what it's about, and Falstaff is completely that. And also, you know, we work so hard to get something which is so short, you know, like our lives, ephemeral, right. And Falstaff celebrates all the temporal joys and the sensual joys of eating and drinking and sex and everything. And so it's a joy for all that our faults and for all our problems. Life is wonderful, and Verdi, you know, after 80 years old, writing this amazing piece, you know, what can you say?
You make it sound very simple.
Well, it's a simple concept, but the details abound, and there's so many things to concentrate on that fly by at such a rate of vitality and speed that it's a hard piece to do.
Is this the single largest cast of principals of a Verdi opera?
I wouldn't be surprised. It's got 10 people, right. And that's a lot of ensemble.
But it's so miraculous how it's written, because it all sounds like they're making it up. It's just spontaneous, and of course it isn't. But all the work that you've done and that we've done together, it's all about trying to give this sense that it's just happening because of the energy which is shared between them, and that's the miracle of it. Because there's nothing. The piece is really unique because there's nothing that sounds calculated. It just sounds like life.
So we're in the intermission. We've passed Acts 1 and 2. What would you advise our audience to look for in the third act?
Wow. It's the summation of the summation. I mean, it brings Verdi's output to a close. It brings this piece to a close, and he actually chose a form, a contrapuntal form called the fugue, which had had its heyday many years before, but he somehow understood what the fugue could do in dramatic terms, in musical terms, and so we have one of the great fugues ever written right there in this piece, and tying all these historical and psychological and artistic strands together.
I would also say, when you were asking about what to look for in this act, what's extraordinary in the third act is that after all this social comedy, which is in exchanges of people indoors, I mean, we have the second scene of Act One is supposed to be outdoors, but we've kept them all indoors so that the going out into nature, which is, of course, traditionally, you know, the people get lost in nature as they're hunting. It's like the last act of the Marriage of Figaro. It's like so many of these pieces where sexual encounters and people not knowing who they are anymore takes place outside, and then reason takes over. And in this opera, the way nature takes over, and you suddenly are outside, and all sorts of magic happens, and there's a complete change in the register. The music is totally different. And that's one of the difficult things in directing this piece, is how to sustain all of that magic and all of that strangeness, and then comes the double wedding, and then you get this incredible fugue.
Yes.
That is the difficult line.
Don't give away the ending.
We won't.
All right, well, thank you both so much, and our audiences are very grateful, as am I, to this wonderful collaboration on this great piece. Thanks so much.
We have a great time.
Thank you. Thank you.
As we've already seen, this production features countless props. Many of them appear to have been strewn haphazardly around the stage, but I'm sure there is a method to this madness. I'm going to speak now with the man who has to make sure those kitchen cupboards are fully stocked, Met prop master James Blumenfeld. Hello, Jim.
Hi, Renee, how are you?
You know, Jim, that scene we just saw is chaotic. Is Falstaf the biggest prop show you have this season?
It is a big prop show, and as you've seen, they scattered everything all over the stage.
Have you counted how many props are there?
Haven't counted, but there's thousands. There's about 55 cabinets, and they're all full of props.
Someone always seems to be eating in this production. Tell me about the turkey Angela cooked in that last scene, and show us how it works.
Well, magic of the theater, we can open up our oven and insert our turkey. And, hold on, I'm gonna insert one. You're gonna take that one out for me. There you go. I gotta get it right in there.
Yeah, this is definitely magical.
Okay. And look at that, a couple of bumps, but in 2 minutes.
Wow. Can I hire you next
turkey.
Thanksgiving? That would be very helpful. It looks great, and they're really eating this too. I mean, this is real,
well,
the real deal.
Falstaf
It
is
smells
cutting it up
fabulous.
and throwing it around, yes.
And you've got some great vintage pieces here. Where did you find these antique items on the counter?
Well, this is actually a co-production, so all this stuff came from the Royal Opera House. So they manufactured all of this. Some of the bags get wet and stuff, so we do make some here now.
Oh, I thought there was a great thrift store shopping trip there. And how long does it take to set up the cupboards for the scene we just saw, and how long to clean it up when it's over?
Right, well, the cleanup goes rather quick because it's during the production, but the setup takes us about 45 minutes. We all have pictures and lists and what goes
How
where.
many people are working?
There's 25 prop men working on the show, so it's a busy show. 25 prop men, yes.
Jim, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Renee.
And now I'm going to speak with the star of our show, Ambrogio Maestri, and he's joined by his wife, Valeria Villani. And this Betty Crocker kitchen is a fitting location for our interview, not just because food figures so prominently in this production, but because, in addition to being a great singer, Ambrogio happens to be a pretty amazing cook. I think this show's going to be bad for my diet altogether. Hello, Ambrogio. Hello, everybody. And thanks for speaking with us just after emerging from the River Thames. So tell us, what are you making?
Cosa stai facendo?
Risotto con funghi, salsiccia. Buonissimo.
Very good. He's making a risotto with fresh sausage and mushrooms and saffron.
Saffron, yes, che è un risotto tipico delle mie terre padane, lombarde e soprattutto verdiane, che adesso è il bicentenario verdiano.
This recipe belongs to his, I mean, the northern part of Italy, which is his homeland, and it happens to be also Verdi homeland.
Yes.
So it's a sort of Verdian risotto.
Yes.
It's a
Verdi
typical Verdi risotto.
Yes.
I love it. Now, I know you share your recipes on YouTube. How did you become such an avid cook?
Come mai sei diventato cuoco? Come
Sono diventato cuoco perché io sono nato in una cucina, i miei avevano un ristorante. E quindi...
he was born in a kitchen because his family had a restaurant, so he grew up looking at the chef.
Yes.
Oh, how happy. Oh, my goodness. And about your unbelievable Falstaf. I mean, today is the 202nd time singing this role. I mean, it's yours. What makes it such a great fit?
Cosa ti piace il personaggio? Cosa ti rende così
Il
Falstaf?
personaggio è bello, mi piace perché non muore nessuno innanzitutto, no? Dead, non muore nessuno e poi perché ha voglia di vivere, la buona cucina, le donne, il vino, tutte le cose che piacciono alle persone. agli uomini.
First of all, is one of the opera in which nobody dies, and so it's very funny. And then he shares with Falstaff.
Yes.
He shares with Falstaff his joy of life, and he likes food, women, life, and enjoying whatever
Wine,
Falstaff likes.
all the good
wine,
things in life, right?
Yeah.
And do you think Falstaff deserves to be treated the way he is?
Pensi che si meriti di essere trattato così come fa?
Secondo me no.
Okay.
No.
He said no. According
no,
to
no,
you,
no,
no.
no.
Okay.
Too much.
Other people may disagree. You're
Altre
so
persone meritano.
comfortable in Robert Carson's production, and I know you did it in London and Milan. How does the time period, the 1950s, affect your portrayal?
Sei così a tuo agio in
Sì,
questo modo?
mi ha arricchito insomma, di tante cose. Carson è un bravissimo regista, ma io faccio sempre il mio personaggio
Okay.
e va bene per tutti.
Carson is a really great director. He has beautiful ideas, but to tell the truth, I always perform one character, which is Verdi Falstaff, and so I adapt him to whatever the
Right.
producer thinks to make up.
Yes. And Maestro Levine is such a master of the score. Tell us about your collaboration with him.
Chapeau.
Chapeau. I know. I agree.
Ecco, non si
I
può dire
know.
altro. Chapeau, il maestro Levine. Chapeau.
Ambrogio Valeria, thank you. And in bocca al lupo for the next act.
Crepi il lupo, thank you, grazie, bye.
I'm with our Nonetta soprano Lisette Oropesa and our Meg Page mezzo-soprano Jennifer Johnson-Cano. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi. The last time we saw you two in HD, you had Rhine Maiden fins for the ring, and now look at you. Do you feel like you stepped out of a 1950s film?
Yes, very much so.
In addition to your complex musical numbers, you have so much carefully timed stage business. How do you master the coordination of that?
Practice.
Practice.
And repetition, drilling, and you know, being friends with all our colleagues and kind of being able to feed off each other, our energy with each other is really excellent. All four of us get along wonderfully, the ladies, and you know.
You're all smart. You're great musicians.
Oh,
and
yes.
all-
Oh, thank
yes. And there's such physicality to both your performances. How did Robert Carson work with each of you on that particular piece?
Well, he told us, we were talking to him about maybe some old movies that we could watch, and he told us about The Women. He said to watch the film The Women and to see how the movement was sort of stylized and how they spoke, and he said use that to your advantage. And so we came in and he said, I want more hands, gesture all the time, and we just started doing it, and then it falls into a nice rhythm.
Certain style of femininity
The
too,
femininity.
right, from the 50s. What are your favorite moments in this opera?
Well, I hate to say my favorite moment is my aria, but my favorite moment is my aria.
Yes.
It's a really
say
nice.
that.
I
You're allowed to
can
say that.
It's a nice moment. It's really beautifully staged, and it kind of stops all the action for a while. And the whole cast is on stage, and the costumes are. My costume is very beautiful, and it's very exciting. Yeah.
All right, your favorite.
Oh, I love the ensembles. Everyone being on stage, singing together, relating to one another. It's so unique in this show.
Yeah,
so it's really, really fun.
Oh, ladies, thank you. I can't wait for the third act.
Thank you.